Hi, so I have my outline now and I'm going to record my podcast. And it's really simple. What I'm going to do, I'm going to either use my iPhone or you can ask to borrow another device that I have that you can use. And so we're going to use voice memos on like the Apple app, and you're going to email it to me. So I'm going to practice recording for you right now while I read my outline. The most important thing that I want you to remember is your voice should sound conversational. That is the tone of a podcast. You're addressing your audience. So, my audience is parents, community members, teachers, students. And so I'm talking to them. That's what it should sound like. You can read off of your outline, but it also should kind of be conversational. So, I have my outline up as a guide. So, when I'm ready, I'm going to start my voice memo and get going with my podcast. So here we go. Hi, I'm Jill Bentley, and today I'm talking about getting fentanyl off high school campuses. I am a high school teacher. I love my students very much, and I want them to be able to learn in a safe and healthy environment. I'm here today because we need to make a change in our high schools, starting at the district level and going into every classroom. Students should be safe, protected, and cared for while they are on campus and throughout their entire high school career. Today, I'm talking to all of you teachers, students, and parents, district employees, and board members, and our community to rise up and eradicate the very dangerous drug from our high school culture. Bottom line, students should not have access to fentanyl because it is damaging both physically and mentally. To begin with, the use and distribution of fentanyl at schools is overlooked and the results are incredibly dangerous. I'm going to cite some research for you to show you how dangerous this drug is and that our school board isn't doing anything right now to stop it. So, in Susan Schaefer article, The Dangers of Fentanyl, she claims fentanyl is a highly addictive substance and becoming more available to youth in school. We need higher regulation and laws to crack down on production. She states in her article, every pill is a danger because this is an unregulated and underground system. The essence of Schaefer's argument is that fentanyl is very dangerous and shouldn't be available. It is a risk every time a student has access. Likewise, Mark Steinberg believes that public school is failing in all areas if we will not address the epidemic of accessible and unregulated fentanyl. In Steinberg's view, the fact that we have seen a decrease nationwide in test scores since the mass distribution of home chemist fentanyl shows that students are wrapped in a culture of solving their problems with a quiet killer. Basically, Steinberg is saying the drug is very easy for students to access, and schools are not being proactive in creating a positive culture where they don't turn to drugs. One wrong fentanyl pill can be deadly because of the nature of its production. Let's kind of move on to our second point here. So, thinking about how damaging this pill is and how much administrators are overlooking it, I have our second point here. So, subsequently, thinking about that idea, students from a damaging lifestyle form a damaging lifestyle when fentanyl on campus becomes an acceptable culture. So, we have some more research here from a doctor. So, according to the prominent doctor that I was looking at to kind of understand what is happening with fentanyl in high school, Garrett Smith says 78% of students have access to unregulated pills. The pills create a high that is very addictive and often inescapable. He insists that students are looking for an outlet to stress and manage mental health. They are turning to fentanyl as an escape and way to connect with popular culture. This shows us that the drug is highly accessible to students and is very addictive. We need to crack down on accessibility and train teachers to be a support system for students who have become addicted. Continuing in that vein, the Dr. Garrett Smith published his experiences on the dangers of teachers, administrators, and parents ignoring the fentanyl epidemic. He corroborated his research with school administrators, reporting Principal Steve Neithimer noted that almost every student has reported using a drug to help manage mental health and stress. Smith is insisting that fentanyl is being used to help students cope with stress. Instead, we should train teachers to support students to use healthy methods to cope and heal. Ultimately, what is at stake here is the physical and mental health of all students in their most formative years. I'm calling out the parents, community members, health officials, teachers, and administrators to demand change by the school board immediately. It is my and your responsibility to implore our school leadership to provide adequate training for teachers and staff to recognize risk signs of addiction so we can help students when they are at their most fragile. We also need to provide comprehensive and practical mental health services to support our students before they turn to drug addiction. Connecting with our students' community will intervene with the spiral of fentanyl culture.